I'm with Jonathan Landers, who is the Executive Director of the National Museum of Dentistry. How are you this morning, Mr. Landers?
I'm doing great. How about yourself?
Good, good. I wanted to ask you about a guide that the National Museum of Dentistry released last week. It was titled Healthy Smiles for Autism, and it is free and downloadable, and we'll put up the website address in just a second here. As I understand it, this guide is primarily for parents. That is something that dental professionals, if they are treating an autistic child, they can refer the parent to this guide and use it. So can you tell us a little bit about the guide itself?
Sure. The guide is for parents and caregivers. But what we found, we did a number of interviews and focus groups with the parents of children with autism spectrum disorder. And what they all said is, you go online and so many times there's information, but it will tell you to do things like take photographs or cut pictures out of magazines to create story pages for the children to have them follow the routine. And they said, with everything we're doing in the course of the day and just getting through a regular routine in the course of a day, having to do one more thing was sort of overwhelming to parents that we talked to. So what we came up with was a guide that not only gives tips, but also has actual sequencing cards and story cards that you can print off, cut out, and immediately start using, as well as tips for rewarding the children, because routine and going over and over the process in a logical and stepped manner is what Kennedy Krieger told us was the best way to get kids to develop and really incorporate those routines into healthy habits by being able to repeat and follow along the story. So we went ahead and actually created these cards right there that parents can download, cut out, and start doing it that night with their children or that day with their children, instead of having one more project where they've got to find magazines with relevant pictures and have to do it themselves.
I take it that they feel like there's a gap there between what oral care instruction autistic children are receiving and their ability to comply with it.
Yes.
What are some of the problems that are being taken care of, being addressed here, I should say?
Well, what happens is, obviously, everything for a child with autism spectrum disorder, and we're not saying that it's going to be the panacea for every child, because, as it says, it's a spectrum disorder. There's children who have some level of autism problems, all the way to children with severe autistic issues. But by and large, this is a way that's a proven technique across other regimens for children to learn, because it creates a sequence that for a lot of kids you would just say, oh well, just put toothpaste on that brush and start brushing. For children with the autism spectrum disorder, they have to, it's every time is sort of a new experience, and so they learn by following closely to a sequence. So if you can do that and get the child where they get to a point and then that becomes routine, then they can move on. So while we think it's easy just to put a toothbrush in our mouth, for children with ASD, a lot of them are super sensitive to certain tastes. So while we may just say, oh, I like mint toothpaste, let's get that. For a child with ASD, they may find that too shocking, or it's not a good taste for them. And so including them in a process which we talk to them about, finding a brush that they're comfortable with, that means the color as well as the right bristles. Obviously we would like them to use softer bristles so that they help their teeth and don't add to any problems. But we talk to them about making it a game where the child is brought into the process and really has control of the situation, because that's been proven, again, through repeated research by different groups, to be the way to have children really embrace the process and want to do it. And what we want is to come up with a program that wasn't one more, is a lot of parents told us, yet another fight or test of wills to get them to do this. So by making it a game, in essence, it's something they come to enjoy, because there's cards that they follow along each step, and then like reward cards for, oh, you've got to that level. And what's been proven from other testing is that tends to then become habit with the children. And that's what we want to do, because if they're comfortable putting an object in their mouth, understanding the process of the brushing, and making it a routine, once that happens, then tests have shown that the children really are among the best about following that routine. And yet, otherwise, just parents trying to put a toothpaste and toothbrush in somebody's mouth, we've heard repeatedly from the focus groups, it's not a pleasurable experience, because they don't like to be touched or approached in the same way. So that's really what we wanted to do, and that I think is what the real sort of impact of this program, and what we wanted to do was to have it so that children were brushing their teeth regularly, understood the process, so that then when they visit the dentist, it's not such a horrific experience. Because a lot of parents, again, we talked to, said, who had older children who had ASD, is that by the time they got to the dentist, they had 6 to 8 caries that needed to be addressed. And that was, for any child, not necessarily a fun process. And for a child with autism, it's even less pleasing, because, again, there's a lot of things going on. There's loud, sounds, obviously associated with that, and experiences that they can't see, so they don't feel in control of. So if we can make it where children get to the dentist and have less treatment needs, then we've gone a long way of doing our job, and I think increased the worthwhile services out there for parents who have children with ASD, and then obviously the children.
So, Mr. Landers, thank you very much for your time. We will put the website up so that people can see it, and I guess I should ask, well, is this guide, let me repeat the name of it, the guide is called Healthy Smiles for Autism. Will it be up on the website for an indefinite amount of time, or?
Indefinite. We're going to leave it up. We hope to be able to even start offering them where we'll start actually being able to have hard copies. But at this time, we got the program out, and we really wanted to make it a national program as soon as possible. And that was what both Kennedy Krieger and the University of Maryland's dental school encouraged us to do. So we found the best way to do this was make it downloadable on the web. So no, it will be up, hopefully, and making a difference for families with autistic children.
Okay, well, thank you very much, Mr. Landers.
Thank you very much.